First question, what do you know about them spraying the skies? I know a lot about that, actually. Um, Answer in short, okay?
So, this gentleman is a former naval intelligence officer who also worked for a three-letter agency, and he's doing some whistleblowing on TikTok. Some of the stuff he covers is absolutely mind blowing. He also talks about a restructuring, if you will, of the United States, saying that the East and West coasts are going to be hit with massive floods. Listen to what he has to say. And of course, all this is for entertainment purposes only, may or may not be true. We don't have anything to verify his credibility, but he seems credible from what I see. Nevertheless, it hasn't been verified as fact, so take it for what you will.
The reason why they are spraying the skies, and they usually start around 7:30, 8:30, 9:30 a.m., is to block out the blue natural light that comes from the sun. The sun has three spectrums. It's going to be morning, afternoon, and dusk. And the sun puts out a natural light, which would be like a blue light that is very essential for your neurowaves and neuropaths in your brain. This is a fact. You can even ask any neuroscientist or, doctor, and they will tell you the same thing. So when you block out the blue light that comes from the sun in the early mornings, it basically dumbs you down. Your brain cannot function properly, and you are a lot easier to control. There are other reasons that they do this, but this is one of the main reasons. I've heard people say, oh, they're blocking out Nibiru, and listen, we live in a dome. Let's just get this straight, okay? There is no solar system. There are other places beyond our reach, but it is not in outer space, okay? It is not up in the sky like you think. So let's just get past that for a second. So the reason why they're spraying it is to block out the blue light. This is very important that you understand this. Blue light. Go look it up. Do some research on it. This is the main reason. This is why they spray early in the morning. Okay. Second question. Again, glasses. Safe areas in the States. Okay. So safe areas in the United States. Well, people say, well, why would people ask about safe areas? What is this about? Just in case you didn't see my other video.
This gentleman is a former naval intelligence officer and also worked for a three-letter agency under the United States government. He says that by 2027, something big is going to happen, and that you need to move to the center of the United States, but not by the Mississippi River. Take a listen. And of course, all this is for entertainment purposes only, may or may not be true. We don't have anything to verify his credibility, but he seems credible from what I see. Nevertheless, it hasn't been verified as fact, so take it for what you will.
And I had warned people to stay away from coastlines and the Mississippi River, and said that you should migrate toward the center of the country or at least away from the coastline. So when people ask about safe areas in the United States, look, anywhere that has high elevation or that's away from the coastline is always going to be a plus. The only thing you have to be careful of is the flat plains, anything that has flat plain land. There's a lot of flat plain land in Iowa, Missouri, and in certain places in the Midwest that you do have to be careful for. But anything with higher elevation is going to be a huge plus. A lot of people are just not in the position to move, nor can they move. They don't have the money, the finances. They have kids in school. Listen, I understand all that, but I'm just letting you know, by 2027, if you can, get away from the coastline. Okay, the next question, and this kind of coincides with the first question, when will this happen? Look, I don't have a crystal ball, and nor do I claim to be God. I'm only going to go by documents that I've seen that I shouldn't be sharing with you, but anyway, documents that I've seen that coincide with this, okay? And this is 100% fact. When I say when this will happen, short answer, by 2027. It could be sooner. It could be next month. I don't know. I'll be honest with you. But by 2027, from the documents that I read and from what I've seen, there was a agenda here to change things around as far as what the United States is going to look like. Okay, next question. I need my glasses again. This is a great question, by the way. Whoever sent me this. What do you know about the food supply? Great question. Matter of fact, that should be one of the number one concerns on your mind, is what you put in your body. So what do I know about the food system or food supply? Well, number one, it's full of poison. Number two, is the earth flat?
So this gentleman claims to be a Navy intelligence officer with top secret security clearance. Listen to what he says about the earth potentially being flat.
Here we go. I'm going to get a lot of flack for this one, and I know for a fact people are just going to scroll, but that's fine. Yes, it is. 100% it's flat. Matter of fact, 1,000% it's flat. Working for the Department of Navy, I can assure you it is definitely flat. The weaponry that we use, the technology that we have on the ships, all laser guided, trust me, wouldn't work on a ball. Let's just put it that way. It is a flat earth plane. That's why you fly on an airplane, okay? You live on a plane, a flat plane, just so you know. Open up your Bible. It will tell you in the Bible that the earth is stationary. It does not move, and it's flat. It's in the Bible. Go look it up. Anyway, on to the next question. Again with the glasses. What do you know about DUMBs? Another great question. And if you don't know what DUMBs are, it's deep underground military bases. That's what DUMBs are. A lot of people have been talking about this on TikTok, of how the elites are running away and they're going to go hide under the ground because they know that this catastrophe is coming. Not true. Not true. Okay? They've been living underground the whole time. Okay? How do you think they travel? How do you think they get from the East Coast to the West Coast? Do you think they jump on an airplane like me and you? No. There's an underground monorail that takes them from California to New York in probably an hour or less. And there's a whole city underground, okay, with shopping centers and you name it, it's down there. I've actually seen the maps of this. I have an old one and I also have an updated map, and I'll share that in one of my upcoming videos. I know a lot of people are going to be interested in this topic. There are entrances to a lot of these underground facilities. A lot of them are built into mountainsides, and they just kind of open up magically. And you'll see trucks driving in there bringing supplies. So if you wonder where all your food is gone, your real food, because if a lot of people will drive through America and they'll say, I see cows and I see pastures and I see corn and I see food being grown. Yeah, but it's not for you, okay? Your food is coming out of a laboratory and their food is being grown naturally from the earth. And it's going to the underground facilities. It's not going to you in your local supermarket. Now, you can still get some natural meats and beefs and things, but you have to go to a farmer's market or like a real butcher shop, and I would even question that, to be honest.
Y'all buckle up for this one. It is weird. What you're looking at behind me is the product of what a gentleman found off a meteorite that landed nearby his house in Panama. He first saw it fall from the sky about 10 to 15 days ago. He went and recovered it and immediately noticed that some characteristics of this meteorite were odd. For example, you could hold it by your hand, but if you put anything organic like leaves on it, it would burn the leaves. Then, not long after acquiring it, it started to grow something odd out of it. People are saying it reminds them of Venom Black Goo, the substance that makes up Venom in the Marvel comics. But as you can see, it seems to be alive. It recognizes when there's sunlight on it, and it grows at an exponential rate. He eventually puts it in a safe where he holds it for a few days, but after a short amount of time, it got too big for the safe. So he recently transferred it to a freezer. And of course, it's starting to take the space up in the freezer as well. That's what you were seeing at the beginning of this video. What's even more odd is it seems to be communicating with him in some sort of way, telling him not to destroy Earth. And if you go on TikTok and look at the comments, People are saying that they know when he has just posted, that they get almost a subliminal message to go watch his videos. As you may notice, he's been taking samples of it and he's been keeping it under lock and key for quite a while. At first, people thought it was fake, but after a while, people realized he's doing pretty good effects if this is actually fake. So a lot of people are starting to believe that this thing is actually real, that it's not a hoax and he's not faking it. If you look closely, it almost looks like a central nervous system or something along those lines, but it keeps growing exponentially. Recently, I had heard that NASA has showed up in hazmat suits allegedly looking for where this guy lives. What's more baffling, if you didn't know, 31 Atlas, the probe coming through space that's going to pass by Earth, actually regenerated and reformed its figuration recently. So it grew in size exponentially. And there's no way that could have been done without some sort of advanced technology. So could this thing actually be a meteorite that was sent here from 31 Atlas? And are they trying to send a message? That's what a lot of people are saying in the comments on TikTok.
Tender County 911, what's the address of your emergency?
This is the original frantic 911 call from a gentleman who was driving on Highway 210 in North Carolina when he encountered something that he said, quote, was not human. Take a listen.
Tender County 911, what's the address of your emergency?
I'm driving on 210. I just crossed the Black River, and I thought I saw a guy standing on the side of the road bleeding.
Okay, where are you at, sir?
I'm on 210. I just crossed the Black River. I'm heading towards 53 East. I just passed Patriots Watch.
Okay, so you're over near Morse Creek?
Yes.
Okay. And did you saw a man standing on the side of the road? What was that, sir?
That's not human! That's not human!
Sir, are you okay, sir?
There's something in the back of my truck!
Okay, what's in the road?
No, it's not in the road. It's in my truck. In the bed.
There's something in the bed of your truck?
Yes, ma'am. I just turned on my bed lights for my truck, and there's something in my bed.
Okay, sir, when you say something, what do you mean?
I just knocked it off of the bed of my truck and went over my roof.
Okay, what was it?
According to the CAD notes and the deputy reports, this thing jumped into the back of his pickup truck and began to actually beat on the top of the cab of his truck. You could actually hear something beating on the top of the truck. The caller stated that it was beating and scratching on the top of the cab of his truck. He actually stated that he was able to engage his bed light and was able to somewhat identify this object that was in the back of his truck. At some point, he was able to slam on his brakes, and the force of inertia actually threw this thing out over his hood and onto the highway, where this thing stood up in the roadway, made its way to the wood line, and disappeared in the woods.
So how this kid described this creature in an interview with the reporter is, imagine if you took skin and stretched it over a human skull, just a human skull, meaning that the thing had no nose. He said the eyes were deep and sunken in and black, and the thing was very pale. It was white, almost white as a ghost. He also said it was wearing a Civil War soldier's uniform. Comment soldier if you want me to post some of the interview. Y'all gotta check this out.
I'm Chinese. Israel has accused China of hating Hamas in Beijing. They even said they would come to Beijing to arrest them. This is beyond ridiculous. As an ordinary Chinese person, I want to say this to Israel. You are welcome to China. China hates the war, but we are never afraid of war. Especially not afraid of the provocation of those who destroy the humanity and bring evil to the world. Justice will always protect this world. So think it very carefully, Israel. The whole world is watching you. How long do you plan to keep hurting humanity? To be honestly, as a Chinese person, I don't even feel the need to respond to you because we never consider it you are a real opponent. That is, peace for the world and many people live with happiness and joy.
Let me know what you think in the comments.
Papa, because mine not autumn my wedding 92 years or papa and not the ha. I will say here I don't know for one.
So this massive centuries-old tree believed to be sacred has just been cut down by Bushmen, and what happened the moment the chainsaw touched it left everyone in shock. The moment they started cutting, water started gushing out of the tree like a flood, and people at the scene couldn't believe their eyes. Locals say this is no ordinary tree. It's known as the Anyina tree, and it's deeply respected in Ghanaian tradition and believed to hold spiritual power. Many believe the water flowing from it is a sign. The tree was alive in a deeper spiritual sense. Now the questions are flying. Was this a natural phenomena or a spiritual warning? The video has gone viral and sparked serious debate online. A lot of the Ghanaian people were very upset about them cutting down this tree. It's truly sad what these men did. I know they're getting in trouble with the law in Ghana. I haven't heard exactly what happened to them, but as I saw the water leaking out of that tree, I couldn't help but think something. I couldn't help but think, now I know how the Great Flood took place.
After all, we can't risk sending you back into a populated area or to a spot that's geographically unknown. You don't want to crash into some tree that once existed in the past. This is all a completely open country, so you have plenty of runout space when you arrive.
Was Charlie Kirk's recent assassination predicted over 27 years ago? According to Online Sleuth, the 1998 movie with Nicolas Cage called Snake Eyes has too many similarities to be coincidence. In the movie, a political figure named Charlie Kirkland gets assassinated while at a boxing match on September 10th. In the movie, the politician shows up to the fight with a beautiful blonde woman that looks oddly alike Erica Kirk. And it doesn't stop there. It's the World Heavyweight Championships, and one of the boxers' name is Tyler the Executioner. The same first name as the alleged assassin who took out Charlie Kirk, but they just called him in the movie the Executioner. I mean, come on. Then, there's one point in the movie where Nicolas Cage is on the phone and he says his lucky number is 7. Elon Musk said he's gonna pay tribute to Charlie Kirk by putting the number 77 on all of the spacecraft he launches from SpaceX. In round 7 is when the champ takes a flop and Charlie Kirkland is then assassinated, and he's in the neck. Also, others are saying that the movie being named Snake Eyes coincides with the year 2025 being the year of the snake. Another one I read about was that during the movie, there was a hurricane going on named Jezebel. And before Charlie Kirk's assassination, a witch named Jezebel supposedly put a curse on Charlie Kirk a week before he passed. Another thing I found odd was that the assassin in the movie was actually of Palestinian descent, which, why would they do that? That doesn't really make sense. And lastly, on the promotional poster for the movie before it came out, you can see the tagline under the title, "Believe everything except your eyes." I swear we're living in a simulation, y'all. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Is there too many similarities for it to be coincidence? Or is it just that, coincidence? Lastly, what do you think it means about the assassination in general? What are the implications? You know what Shakespeare said, all the world's a stage, and all of us men and women are merely players. And I'm starting to believe him. What's up, y'all? You ain't gonna want to miss this one. This was sent to me by a follower, and it's absolutely mind-blowing. My grandfather, Joachim, was born in 1889 and lived until 1984. I was just an 11-year-old boy when he left. He was a fisherman all his life, and he loved to tell stories that, while incredible, he swore were always true. He used to say that he preferred to fish at dawn because that was when the fish emerged to the surface to bite. He'd tie his fishing net at one end of the river and throw his line just as the fog would start to dissipate. In those days, it was common to catch huge fish without much difficulty. He always came back with his basket full. My grandfather was a curious man by nature. He said that he had been going to that river since he was just 10 years old, and almost every time early on in the morning, he would notice some strange movements on the riverbanks on the opposite side from where he always fished. According to him, no other town occupied the area, so it didn't make sense as to who these people were. They'd show up without fail at 5 a.m. every time. He'd see them seemingly humanoid figures entering to the water, and he always found this very peculiar. So to find out who they were, one morning he got in his canoe, but instead of going directly to the shore where they used to go, he decided to travel further upstream and across the river to get a good look at who these people were. Once on the mainland, he hid his canoe among the vegetation and snuck over where he'd lay in the tall grass and hide out about 28 meters away from where he'd see those people. The next morning, like clockwork, at the crack of dawn, they showed up. But what he witnessed left him without breath. I saw several groups, entire families, but they were not human. They had an upright body, they walked on two legs like us, but their skin was scaly, resembling dry leather. Their faces were similar to that of a crocodile, albeit with shorter snouts. The smaller ones moved on all four legs, gliding with agility between water and land. They did not speak, but communicated with signs. At first I thought they were people in disguise, or they were carrying dead caimans on their shoulders. But no, they were alligators. He said the most shocking moment was when everyone went into the river, except one who remained seated on the bank in a fully human-seated position. But his appearance was unmistakably reptilian. My grandmother said that it took him more than 10 minutes to move back, as fear paralyzed him, and he feared making noise. Since he was so far from the farmhouse and it had gotten too late, he decided that night not to return home, and stayed and slept at the foot of a large tree near his usual fishing spot. My grandmother said that after that day, my grandfather fell seriously ill. Nobody knew what caused him to do so, but we always suspect that it was related to what he had witnessed. But eventually he did get better, and he lived until he was 95 years old. And until his last day, he repeated with conviction that those beings still lived there, the primitive forests of Brazil in the Amazon.
El día de ayer, miércoles 27 de agosto del 2025, muchas personas reportaron el avistamiento de un objeto cayendo del cielo
Alright y'all, so I came across this video on TikTok and I couldn't be more pumped. Every once in a while they come through and it's just awesome when they do. I'm super excited. Take a look and look closely. Take your time and let me know what you think it is.
Un cometa. Incluso antes de las 7 de la noche reportan un sonido, un estruendo muy fuerte que se alcanza a escuchar en muchos lugares de Oaxaca, pero también incluso de otros estados. Hay videos donde se observa el objeto como va cayendo, este bólido, parece ser un meteorito, y muchas personas empezaron a especular que este objeto habría caído.
The gentleman that filmed it lives in Oaxaca, Mexico. He was driving down the highway when he spotted this thing falling out of the sky. I'm super pumped about this one. It's awesome. Truly amazing that he caught this video. It is a once-in-a-lifetime capture. I hadn't seen it circulating at all on TikTok. It was all in Spanish, as you can hear, and it was all Spanish people commenting on it. I don't know that they figured out exactly what it is, but I pretty much instantly saw it. It's what you probably think it possibly looks like if you open the mind and actually believe in things like this. To me, it was instantly obvious. It's on fire. This thing got in a battle way up in the sky with another one and lost. And what's cool is he located where it landed on the ground and he went to go and look at it and check out the scene. He was immediately stopped, detoured to another road where he could not see the object. But then it looks like he was smart enough to go get a drone and fly it over the burning object. And you can tell blatantly, even though it's burning, even though it's covered in smoke, what it is. So if you look closely here, when they fly the drone over the crash site, you can see a small hook, which is what you'll find at the crest of a dragon's wing. I also feel that in the video, if you look closely, you can see some of its phalanges coming up out of the smoke, and then you can possibly see its feet and maybe its head in some portion. It's hard to tell because it probably had been burning for quite a while. There's no doubt in my mind what that was a dragon. Absolutely crazy stuff. Watch it again now that you know. Let me know what you guys think. Y'all, to be honest, I'm not exactly sure what these are. I've heard everything from missiles to Chinese craft to US AI aircraft to drones. It could be AI all around. If you know, let me know in the comments. But if these things are real, they are wicked. And whoever has the tech, scary if it's not us.